Okay, hello, I'm here. It's the evening, I just had dinner with my dog. Here's my dog. All right, and so I've got my sketchbook that I just purchased for $2. Welcome, I'm kind of excited about that. And then I get my phone, and I take my phone and I want to look for black and white photos of famous people. We're doing portraits today. So excited. So I'm gonna go. And I already kind of found one, but so then I'm gonna press images, and then I scroll down, and you guys can use the same one if you want, but I scrolled down and looked at some different ones. Like this one would have been good, but he has his eyes closed. And then the expressions are a little too much. Wrinkles, you kind of want to hold off on wrinkles, kind of wait. Smokers, probably not. Profile, nothing in profile because we're working on a face that's just straight on right now. So the one that I chose, this one wouldn't be bad if you really hated doing your eyes, again, closed eyes. The one I chose was, I think it's Natalie Portman. And then I went ahead and clicked on it. And then I saved it. So you want to do that. And so I saved it into my photos. So now I'm going to my photos. There's my dog. My little dog. There it is. So I'm opening up my sketchbook, and normally I have it portrait style, but I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do, just because of the way we're looking at it, somebody's calling, but then we can put this on the side so you can see it a little bit better, and hopefully you can see my drawing. So I'm going to put her here. I'm going to start to just draw. She's got a nice oval face, but it's kind of a little bit round. So I'm just working on just the shape, and you could go crazy. You could kind of like, as you're just sketching now, and I'm barely touching my pencil to the paper. So I want to take this and I want to straighten her face up a little bit. And I change it so much after I actually do my work. I kind of really change the face. So get the basic face shape. And then you want to figure the eyes are in the very center of the head. So this is the center. So if you look here and here, this is the center. I'm going to put hers up a little bit higher, only because in the picture, her hair is off the picture. And so if you're really thinking about a face shape, the hair is part of the face in a face shape. So like the eyes would be more in the center of the head in that case. So I'm going to find out where the center of the head is too, and that helps when we're doing the chin and the jawline. So got my line here, and I got my line here, and again I'm raising this up just a little bit, and I'm kind of figuring out where her eyes go. So her eyes are kind of far apart, they're not really close together, and they're like this. Now one thing that you figure out is right here, usually if you go straight down, generally that's where the edge of the nose is. If you go straight down from where the eye is, that's usually where the edge of the mouth is. So it kind of helps you when you're doing that to kind of figure things out a little bit. So if I go straight down here, and I'm just kind of getting this as a guideline, I figure out there's where the edge of my nose is, and you want to figure out, does she have a long nose? And we've already discovered kind of like nostrils, so she's got some nostrils going on, and you just want to figure out where things are. I want to get her eye in there, and I want to do something like this, and I'm not even getting her eye shape yet, and then I want to figure out where her mouth is, and just kind of I'm sketching things in just a little bit. So she's got she's got this going on, and this, and nice big lower lip, and then I kind of look and I want to re-evaluate my shape a little bit more. So just kind of give her that really nice, she's a great jawline. And women are a little bit easier to draw, but if you wanted to do a self-portrait, that would be fine. I did a famous person because some of you guys don't really love to draw yourselves. So I'm drawing this kind of edge to her head. Notice that I have a really big forehead here because I haven't put the brows in. So once I put the brows in, it's going to be a little bit better. So I want to kind of get the eye shape, and don't worry too much that it doesn't really look like the person, because right now we're just going to start to draw, but it's good to have a guideline of a person. She just has a little white spot and really, really dark eyes right here, so there's that. This could probably come up a little bit more. And she has this really dark area back here. We have that circle that came up, same thing here. There's her eye, comes around. And again, don't worry if it doesn't look too much like the famous person. And so I'm gonna do this. And then also what I always have a hard time is with symmetry, because I am really terrible at making them all the same. So I'm gonna darken this up just a little bit down here, just so we can see it a little bit better. And then you kind of have to like look, so you might have to make adjustments and go, okay, her lip is a little bit lower or it's a little higher. Usually I make some serious mistakes, but just to get this going, I'm going to go ahead and get that going. And then I want to darken this up. I see the little light source. See the little light source. I see her little crease above the eye, and then a crease above this eye, and this ends right about here. She has a little bit of a shadow, and so some of the lines that we do see, I'm going to toss those in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and darken up her eye and leave that crease, and I'm going to do that to the other eye also, and leave the little crease. And again, I'm not seeing a lot of symmetrical in the eye, so if I did it, then you can do it. It's not, I'm not judging. And I've seen all of your stuff, and so far I'm like really, really happy. So same thing what we learned about the inside of the lip here. I'm gonna make this a little darker, shade in that upper lip a little bit. And I don't see a lot of shadows within her face, so some of that stuff that we did might be a little bit different. So I'm gonna just kind of do this. I'm gonna darken up this edge here because she has a really dark, nice edge to her eye here because she's got a lot of mascara on. We're gonna say it's totally natural. We're gonna shoot those eyelashes away from the nose and maybe make that crease a little bit more pronounced. Now I'm gonna look at this eyebrow, and because I've kind of filled in some things here, like this little line here, now I'm gonna toss her eyebrow in. Sometimes it's, I feel like a lot of you females are better at getting some of these details because you are pros at the on fleek eyebrow type thing, which I am obviously not. So I'm going to toss that eyebrow in, and some of you might have to change your screensaver, or you might get on your Chromebook. And then I'm going to get the little facial stuff. Now, where I'm pulling the graphite, because I had a couple people say they had some problems just with the graphite, I'm using a number 2 pencil. And this one here is, this is a really dark one, maybe a 4B. So this one here, all of a sudden, it's super easy to go darker on this. And I can just even go a little scribblier. And there she has the crease in her hair. And I think I'm going to go a little bit lower on this. So I think I did still give her a little too much forehead. And so you can make some of these adjustments. And I'm just going to give some directional lines for her hair. So you want to shade in the direction that her hair is. And I'm going to go back and start to toss a little bit of a shadow here. I'm using the edge of my pencil, and I want an applied line on her nose, but she has a stronger shadow on the right side of her nose. A little bit more here. I'm going to just give myself a little bit more eyelashes here. And so now it's just kind of touching up a little bit, adding some details. And then before I go too crazy, I want to add a couple details. Really dark areas, make them dark. get that hair in. Maybe I'm gonna really get this hair going, and it kind of goes down. Let's get her neck and her neck and get the hair going. And the hair is great at framing her face. Ears, you shoot this line right out this way, and that is where your ear attaches, and then it comes up from there. So she's got some ears. She's got a kind of a big ear going on here. So I'm gonna cover that up with some hair. And I'm just using the edge of my pencil. Hair takes a lot longer. She kind of doesn't have the prettiest hair right here. I'm just saying it's a little scraggly, and I'm just making it worse. So, and this helps to frame out the face a little bit, so you can really look and see, did I do a nice job with framing the face? Because the hair is kind of good. Even if it's light colored hair, you can throw in that shadow, and that's why we used a black and white picture. I'm going to toss that ear in here. Look at that. Don't worry about symmetry on the ears, because most of us don't have symmetrical ears. And I'm just going to toss that ear in there and then give her a little bit more shadow. And the reason I want to do a lot of this hair is because this is where I'm grabbing my graphite. So I get my toilet paper, and we see all these lines. If you want, you can erase them. You don't have to. Probably just like look at some of those shadows before. I probably should have made her neck a little bit wider and given a little shadow underneath here. If you see it, it's like in her lower neck, like here, she has a little bit of a shadow. And I'm gonna just go a little bit darker and have that blend in up there, so we don't really see the crease as much as we see a dark shadow. A little darker around the lower part of the lips and make them rounder at the bottom. And a little bit on the side. This kind of does this and this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the picture and I see some shadows coming down the side of her face. A little bit right here. I see the shadow around the nose. This is where you just want to just go really subtle. A little bit of a shadow on the inside of the other eye. She's that little crease up here. A little bit blending into the lips. And I'm going to find some shadows back with, or just kind of create shadows by having a nice light source. So somehow I'm going to start finding light sources, but we have shadows usually in the inside of the eye here, or right just in there. We have some right here. She's got a kind of a long narrow nose, and it's got to show up a little bit. And again, a little bit under the eye. And sometimes I even add a little bit more shadows than I see. She's got some shadows around the edge of her head. So this kind of makes her look like she has a round face. And then I can take my light source and then find that little light source again. A little bit like we did before of our nose. Let's give a nice light source on her lip. And a little light source above. And I'm going to clean my eraser. Little light source above her lip. Maybe have that a little bit more. Uh-oh. Give her a mustache. She's looking a little bit like Hitler. I apologize. So I'm going to go back. My eraser's getting kind of gross. I'm going to have to go to the nice soft eraser. So a kneadable eraser I like much better because it is a softer erase, and you could pull all these little shadows back in a little bit better. So now when I'm finishing it up, what I do is I'm starting to add the details, and this is where I'm not blending anymore. And I'm just adding my details to this, getting that crease back, getting this little line right here back. This one, she has a little bit more of a shadow here. I might have to go back into this a little bit with my eraser. And just give her a little bit more. Maybe darken up those eyebrows more. And make them a little thicker. Add some of those big details that just make me see who that person is. And again, I'm not doing a great job making her look like whoever this, I think it's Natalie Portman, I don't know. I do like Natalie Portman, so I should know. Maybe have this little line in here. Maybe just darken this up. And so I do a lot of scribbling, but we are gonna do some stuff with the face afterwards. So if you want, you can even do your own and make your face black and white. So I'm going to I feel like we're close, but I think she needs a little bit more of a cheekbone. So I'm tossing in a cheekbone. I can go back and fix her hair. And darken up the hair a little bit. And again, directional shading is probably the best idea for the hair, so it's going in the right direction. I didn't do a great job of that, but it takes a little bit. Now, we're just working on just getting our face where we've got everything. And tomorrow I'm gonna do another one. And when I do the other one, what you guys are gonna do is kind of watch that. If you need some help, we're gonna do a male on that one. And then on Thursday, we're doing something fun with the picture. So I will add a little light source to her nose a little bit. Maybe add it a little darker at the lower part of her nose. And light source again. Maybe toss. And again, you want to get a good eraser. I don't love my eraser right now. Might have to take that and put it in the garbage. So we have this. Maybe a little, you can just find some more light sources. I'm not loving this because it's not an implied line, but remember that implied lines are kind of cool. You can work on just getting her little creases like hair, little details. I usually spend a lot of time afterwards trying to make the person look like the person. So it can do a lot more detail stuff later on. And then continue to play with it. You can't do too much when you've pressed hard with the paper towel or your toilet paper. So don't press too hard with that, but it's kind of a good thing to play a little bit, and I would try a couple of them. Okay, so that is Tuesday. Wednesday we're gonna do a male, or you could just do this. You wanna get a front view, and you wanna get those eyes in the center. Remember some of the details. So this little guy here generally tells me where my lips go. This little guy here generally tells me where my nose is. This little guy here tells me where my ear begins, and it comes up and around. These are some of my details. Eyes are in the center of the head, and then you want to kind of figure out where the center of your head is, or the very center of your face is, so you know where your chin, your like eyes further apart, and your nose is. Okay guys, hope everything's good, and I loved your pictures. Keep them coming.